and welcome to Inner Circle Guidance. Today we're going to be doing a collective reading in honor of the Day of the Dead. What guidance our ancestors have for the collective today. We have the Hermit. We have the Four of Swords. We have the Four of Cups. We have the Five of Swords. We have the Six of Cups. We have the Four of Wands, the 1111 card on the table here. So right off the bat, we have 3 fours on the table. So this is definitely a 444 numerology sort of energy here. Fours have to do with things that you desire being right around the corner. It also has to do with elevating to a new timeline, having a new understanding and awareness of spirituality and your gifts. It also has to do with reflection and balance. You may need to be taking a look right now at what needs some balance in your life, maybe what changes need to be made, because 4 is a big number of change. With the Hermit, I'm seeing that a lot of you are really going inward at this time. You may be on a journey of self-discovery. You may be feeling like things are kind of difficult because the Lantern is really sticking out to me. It may feel like a very dark time or a very isolating time, or a time where, for those of you that doesn't resonate, it's just a time where you need more alone time. You need more you time. You're kind of trying to get back to self here. You are really reflecting on the past, and you're really reflecting on who you are, where you've been, what you've been doing, what opportunities maybe you slept on, what opportunities maybe you rejected, maybe certain opportunities you should have rejected, but you didn't. And it's all coming to this sort of culmination of trying to figure out exactly what your next steps forward are. For some of you, you may be feeling very lost or very insignificant or very like you have no idea what your purpose is, and you've really been looking for your purpose and what truly makes you happy at the end of the day and how to really achieve it. And you may have a really good idea long term about what you think you want, but you're not really sure how to align to that timeline because that timeline seems so different from the one you're currently on that it's kind of hard to even imagine. But I am seeing that there's change coming in because we have 4, 4, and then 5. And oh, interesting. And then we go to 6, which I only just realized. So this entire reading is about progress. What your ancestors are really trying to get through to you at this time. There are certain generational things that you've carried with you or that have really influenced the way that you've made decisions in the past. For some of you, this has to do with the way you view things, or maybe what you view as possible or impossible for somebody like you, or for somebody in your circumstances. Maybe you feel like there's just so many things that you've had to fight through in your life that you're kind of uncertain of exactly where you should go and what you should be doing because you feel like all the fighting you've done in the past hasn't really benefited you. There's really been no winner. You didn't really come out on top. And you're carrying all of these burdens with you, all of this anger and resentment and frustration and guilt and shame. And a lot of it needs to be released. I'm very much picking up on that all of these things are being brought to the surface because you are on the verge of stepping into a very important part of your life. But until you kind of get through the muck, so to speak, it's going to be difficult for you to really take the correct action and things moving forward and make the right changes. Because I'm picking up on there's some significant changes that need to happen in terms of the way you go about achieving your goals, the way you view it, the way you view yourself, maybe even what you're going after. Maybe it hasn't been deep enough, or you've never really given thought as to exactly what it is you want out of your life and your career. There's been this sort of internal struggling happening. You feel like you're receiving these major downloads, you're kind of having these breakthroughs, but then you feel kind of like stuck again. What I'm hearing is all of this is part of the process. I keep seeing a lotus flower. And for those of you who are unfamiliar, a lotus flower blooms in the muckiest of muck. And it comes out completely unscathed, even though it is growing in a very harsh and dark, mucky climate. Everything that you've been through has been a lesson and a journey that has brought you to where you are now. Your ancestors are telling you that everything that they did prior, the things that they paved the way for, also brought you to this very moment, this very present moment. And everything has been preparing you for what's to come. I'm seeing with the Six of Cups, there is an offer that's going to be coming in for a new beginning. You're going to have the ability and the opportunity to really rebuild your life brick by brick as you choose to build it with new intention, with new motivation, with new mindsets, with a new outlook on life. Now, this doesn't mean you're starting over. To be clear, this doesn't mean you're starting from scratch or you're starting over. What it means is that you're able to take all the lessons, all the resilience, all of your hope and achievement, your failures or perceived failures, perceived successes, and you're able to literally rebuild your garden, rebuild your house, and all the different areas that you want to elevate and move forward. And I'm seeing that you're very much being supported in this. This is very much not only what you want, but also what the divine is looking to have you achieve. There's another message that needs to come through, but not with this particular deck. I'm just going to take 3 more cards from the Signs of the Time Oracle deck and figure out what this other message is that's trying to come through here. The first card that came out was Water, Surrender, Angel number 39. There's an impatient energy here where a lot of you, part of the problem you're running into is you've made a lot of decisions in the past based off of wanting to control the outcome. Although we very much are in control of our lives in the sense that we have to take full accountability for our lives and understand that if we're wanting to accomplish big things, that also comes with great responsibility. But we can't control everything. There are certain things that are out of our control. We can control how we react to certain situations and how we move forward, how we choose to view it. But we're not in control of every aspect of every single thing because everybody has the power of free will. Some of you need to surrender to the flow of your abundance, the flow of energy towards your purpose. For some of you, you haven't quite figured out that when things start to feel resistant and difficult, there's a reason. It's because you're trying to be rerouted to something that's more in alignment with what it is you truly want or desire, what your life path is, or where you're going to actually make a bigger impact. And some of you have been trying to control the outcomes so much that you've closed yourself off to certain divine guidances or certain situations, trying to make things happen in places where you've wasted a lot of time and energy because those particular people or things, they were not meant to come with you. A lot of us think that in order to achieve what we want and be on the right path, that we have to constantly be changing ourselves. But in truth, we're already a divine being. It's more about releasing the things that you need to release to make room for the things you're already attracting than trying to attract or change yourself to attract more of the thing you think you want. Being in the energy of already being in the energy of what you want has more to do with your belief in that than specifically the action or lack of action you're taking, because it changes the frequency and the intention behind how you're doing something. So for example, for those of you who are struggling with attaching all your self-worth and your value and your happiness to the outcome of your perceived success, you've got to start looking at things from a perspective of being an amplification of who you already are instead of trying to make something prove or disprove who you are or what you stand for, or how successful or not successful you are. When you get into a flow state, things will feel right. They will feel easier. They will feel peaceful. A lot of you have not had peace as you've been moving forward through your life. There's been a lot of tumultuous issues here. A lot of this is coming from and stemming from your need for control of the outcome. Try to figure out what is tying you to the outcome. Is it your happiness, your self-worth? Is it making you feel a certain way? Try to figure that out and then try to remove it. You need to find peace, happiness, fulfillment within yourself, not based off of the things that you're perceiving to succeed or fail at. We have succulents, resistance. What's interesting about succulents is when you break off a piece of a succulent, it can create an entirely new plant. And I think a lot of you really want to have that level of impact where it's like you're able to take all the different pieces of yourself and create these beautiful things. And you have the potential to do that. And a lot of this has been learning how to be resilient, learning how to not give up on your goals and your dreams. But the succulent also thrives in difficult surroundings, just like the lotus flower. I think at some point you're going to need to learn how to thrive in peace, how to thrive when things aren't high highs and low lows, where things are not crazy extremes, or when things aren't completely high stakes all the time, and start having that peace where you're able to be calm in those situations and thrive, but you don't have to constantly live in that. I'm picking up on that a lot of your ancestors have paved the way for you in a lot of ways. Some of you need to reconnect with those roots to figure out exactly where that is, because I'm hearing it's a clue to your life purpose and your path. But for those of you who are really struggling with what to do with your life, or how to find more fulfillment, or what it is you're looking for on your life path, I highly recommend that you start looking into that and figuring out where maybe some of these difficult situations are creating patterns, where maybe there are patterns in your family or in your ancestry where you've had to fight for certain things that may be residual, still default settings that you're playing in your head. We have dice and chance, and look at that, there's more 4s here. I really feel like you need to look up angel number 444 for those of you who are not familiar, but even those of you who are, because there may be an additional message that needs to come through for you specifically. And I would love for you to comment if you find out what it is in the comments. But 4 here is a very important number. It also has to do with balance. So there may be some rebalancing that needs to happen here. There also may need to be some places where you need to take more chances and you need to take more calculated risk and step out of your comfort zone. Some of you keep looking towards the past or looking towards the future instead of living in the present. And the problem is the past no longer exists except in your head. Technically, the past is gone. The past is over. The only remnant or even proof that it ever existed in the first place is because you are acknowledging it. If there's certain things about your past that you don't like, you need to learn how to adjust so that you're not making the same mistake, and you need to release the past. If you're looking to the future, you're looking towards something that may or may not exist. Instead of focusing on what could or couldn't happen in the future, you need to focus on being present in the moment, so that you can actually figure out what you can do now. What can you do now to align and to achieve your goals? What can you do now to focus on yourself and bring yourself to the next level of awareness? I'm also hearing that some of you need to invest more in yourself, and that's part of what this new era is going to be. You need to figure out that when you take more time for yourself, you're investing in you. When you are finding out what motivates you, and you're infusing that into your everyday life so that you feel constantly motivated and excited. When you are investing in your skills to bring yourself more money, or to bring yourself more stability, or to bring yourself more fulfillment in your art, or whatever it is. When you are investing in your spirituality, invest in you. It will always pay off. Those people that you look up to who are very successful have invested in themselves. You need to learn how to invest in yourself and look at it from a perspective of positivity, not from a perspective of limiting beliefs or negativity. You don't have to sacrifice to achieve your goals. If you are in the process of going after things specifically to be worthy or to prove something to yourself, or you think you have to sacrifice in order to get there, you are setting yourself up for a difficult path. For a lot of you, this entire message is about getting out of your own way and figuring out where you get in your own way and then removing it. And a lot of it has to do with the way you perceive things. So if this reading resonated with you, don't forget to like this video. Your affirmation for this reading. Gosh, there's so many messages in this one. I am surrendering to the flow of abundance, and I am open to the divine guidance of my ancestors. That is your affirmation for this reading. And as always, may your life be full of light, full of love, abundance, and gratitude. I'll see you next time.